Forever. I was waiting for 15 minutes and seconds. I'll call the Desert Healthcare District Program Committee meeting at 4 p.m. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? All those in favor? Aye. And we'll move on to meeting minutes from the May 13th meeting. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes? Second. All those in favor? Aye. We'll move on to public comments at this time. Comments from the audience may be made on items not listed on the agenda that are of public interest and within the subject matter jurisdiction of the district. The committee has a policy of limiting speakers to not more than 3 minutes. The committee cannot take action on items not listed on the agenda. Public input may be offered on an agenda item when it comes up for discussion and/or action. Are there any public comments at this time?
There are no public comments for items not listed on the agenda.
Are there any public comments for items not listed on the agenda? We'll move on to chief executive report. There's no chief executive report. No. Move on to F, program updates. Number 1 is progress and final report update. Does anyone have any questions regarding the progress and final report update? Is there a motion to approve the progress and final report update?
We don't need
A lot of people need
to see it. Just
Okay.
information.
We'll move on to number 2, grant payment schedule. Are there any questions regarding the grant payment schedule?
So the remaining balance is 20,000, right? This is for grants / sponsorships.
Yes.
Can I clarify, no, not sponsorships, the 20,000 was included in the request for the budget increase because we saw there's too many grants that we're working. So,
Thank you for clarifying that.
Okay, we'll move on to grant funding. There's no grants right now. Move on to sponsorships. The first one is number 252620, Desert Cancer Foundation 20th anniversary paint El Paseo Pink for $5,000. It will be held on October 10th, 2026. Is there any questions regarding that or anything that you would like clarification?
Not just a quick overview by staff letting us know why they're recommending this amount, and then if there's representatives from that organization and they'd like to add anything.
So this request is for, like you mentioned, their El Paseo Pink Walk. Funds will be used for the patient assistance program and educational components for the event that will raise awareness about their available resources and early detection. We haven't funded this, funded this organization in the past for sponsorships, but we have given them grants in the past, and we do have a current one with them. This one will, we want to fund this one at the $5,000 request because we want to highlight our partnership with the Pink Journey Foundation. And then Donna, is there anything that you would
Right.
like to add to that partnership?
Well, as you know, we have a contract with Pink Journey Foundation to provide extensive mammograms to uninsured and underserved women. So they'll be supplying, they'll be doing mammograms at the event as well. This Pink Foundation is pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
Services that they pass along.
Yeah, that's, we're having ongoing conversations with them to do on-site either registration or, the services themselves on site. We're trying to find out some logistics there because after 9 o'clock, 9:30, it's all cleared out, because obviously the vendors there and the merchants on Apple sale want the streets open and people to shop. So we're trying to find logistically if it's gonna be, maybe we could find a location nearby. Or just have a table there and disseminate information and let women know of potentially upcoming clinics that we might have for breast cancer screenings.
I remember you touched on this, I want to say a few meetings ago, right? During the foundation portion of it, if I remember correctly, and I remember you mentioning like, oh, we might have to walk a block or so to go.
Mhm.
Right, so, and then,
Is there any public comment on the grant, on the sponsorship for 5,000?
There's no public comment.
Okay,
I don't think anybody here.
okay.
I'll move for, sending it to full board for approval.
Okay, I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. Send that one to the board for final approval and move on to number 25, 26, 25. United Cerebral Palsy Event and Empire Life Without Limits Luncheon for $1,350. And that will be held on October 23rd, 2026. And it's that one was declined.
We're recommending approval.
It's on the bottom.
It's a spacing,
Oh,
yeah, it's close to it.
That's what I was like, wait.
the next line.
People can give a brief overview.
So this one, the request was for $5,000, but we're recommending the remaining balance of the 250,000, which is 1,350. This is a luncheon that will raise awareness about the needs, abilities, and achievements of individuals living with autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, epilepsy, and other intellectual and developmental disabilities for children and adults. The funds would be used on venue expenses, accessibility accommodations, community outreach, educational materials, program operations, and family support initiatives. And then we've had in 2025, given them a $500 sponsorship for their bowl-a-thon.
Any questions? No.
So we're like giving them our last.
And on their sponsorship, if you go down to the very last page, their lowest tier is 2,000, but again, we're just awarding them the remaining balance.
Have we had a conversation with them and see if our 1,300 is gonna, they'll respect like a $2,000 level or sponsorship or?
Not yet.
Absolutely happy.
So- Okay, is there any public comment regarding United Cerebral Palsy sponsorship? No? Is the motion to approve?
I'll move for, sending it to full board for approval.
Okay, I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, that, sponsorship will be forwarded to the board for final approval. Number 3 is sponsorship application declinations. Thank you. Well, there are some.
This is for information only, it wasn't for you to go through each one, you guys say. This was the.
Do you have any questions regarding the decline?
So, yes, so have we let these organizations know?
I think some of them know, right, because they're sitting behind us. Public comment, I don't know.
So, and then the plan is that we'll be opening up for sponsorships again after the fiscal year.
Right.
Yeah, we'll have the new budget will start on July 1st. That'll give us, the budget 300,000 for the next year. And then we'll have the 2 application periods. So applications received up through November 30th would be intended to bring, to the December meeting for events that are occurring in the following 6 months. So that'll be for January 1st through June 30th. And then we'd have a similar, element for the end of the fiscal year And so what we were thinking of doing for this particular round, because in the past we brought all of them that came up on a month-to-month basis, but at this point, whatever we have, we can say, hey, half the budget for half the year, 150,000. Here's all the applications we have, and that way we can work through those and make some allocations based on the available funds for that 6-month period. As opposed to what we've done in the past where, like
Use
this
it all up,
one,
right?
yeah, we've used it, we've got to the end, we've got some applications, and we only had X amount of dollars to apply to those received applications.
So it's like some of these applications. So let's say that they would want to reapply July 1st, then they would have missed their May deadline if their event is later in the year, then would they just be automatically disqualified to apply?
Yeah, the next, the applications that we're receiving now would be for events that are occurring from January 1st through June 30th. Yeah, thank you.
And I think this new policy being so new, right, within our news like sponsorship and how we're dividing them, I think that as time goes by and more, and we, process more applications, we'll be able to see that, hey, like some of these things might not work. Because I'm also thinking on the applicant side, right, like, hey, like, so I noticed, and I was also CC'd in one of the emails where it's like one of the reasons for declination was, for example, that their application was submitted after that deadline. But then there was some, I guess, the application was submitted before. And then, but now they would be also, that's another reason for them to be declined because they missed that deadline. So even if they wanted to come back, like, I guess my point is that it might not be a perfect policy, so there might have to be some changes, and I think that's a conversation that we should have. Not saying that we like sit down right now and try to like look at what's working or not, but I think on the staff side, I would like for us to be aware of like some of these unintentional problems or we're gonna be blocking instead of, am I making sense? We might be creating or causing, some unintentional, barriers, barriers and confusion based on, our own set of like deadlines. So I think that's just something for us to keep in mind. And then also, I understand, right? We run out of money, we run out of, we're very close to the new fiscal year. And so I'm not sure if we look for a way on like how I don't know, even like within this transition period, do we want to work on something that would be like transitional, or do we just, it's a declination and then, sorry, right, we'll reconsider.
I think we definitely have to figure something out because that's a big chunk from, from July to December. What about if there's some events during that time that didn't reach them?
So
We have
right
to
now,
figure it out.
there's 13, and I really do appreciate the work that was put into this with the reason for declination and putting it all together. I really do appreciate that, and I think it's good for us as committee to take a look at this. And so I know that this is informational, so we don't need to vote. Will this be presented to the full board as well, or just within the minutes? It'll be presented, right? Okay.
Be fine. Happy.
Okay. So I think that it'd be good for us to have a full board discussion on it as well. Again, just so that we don't create any unintentional barriers. And then I believe if we believe that it's gonna work, and I'm okay with just leaving it as is, but I think that I think that's the beauty of like policy, right? That we can change it as we go if need be, as we see, it being best fit for the constituents that we serve, the organizations that we work with. So I don't have any other questions or comments.
Is there any public comment regarding?
I just want some clarification, please. It looks like we had 15 applicants.
If we can have your name and organization.
I'm sorry, Greg Murphy with the Dawson Center. 15 applicants, and from what I understand, you had 6,000 $350 left to allocate for the 15 applicants. And that's what happens with the 2 grants.
Sponsorship.
Sponsorship, I'm sorry, the 2 sponsorships, that's what happened, okay.
Is there any other comments?
Yeah.
We do. Chair Perezkia, we do have a commenter that's been waiting online, and I'm not sure if it was for the Desert Cancer Foundation or for something else. Ms. Bloomer, you have the floor.
Hi, my name's Kristen Bloomer. I am with Mizell Center in Palm Springs. And my question is on the declinations. So I was surprised to see that these applications for events in your next fiscal year were applying for dollars out of your previous fiscal year budget. So that's why most other government agencies and cities usually have their application period in, May, June for events happening in the next fiscal year, and it's also coming out of the next fiscal year's budget. So I was just confused by, and I think that's what the chair, or I don't know who was commenting, but the chair was talking about maybe the program rules and deadlines are a little, because the events are all happening in your next fiscal year, but it's using funds for the previous fiscal year.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you. Okay.
Then I had. Oh, go ahead.
No, you
Okay. Jeff Taylor with the HIV and Aging Research Project, and we've been a successful grantee in the past and, applied through the new sponsorship. Previously, we've gotten a larger grant for all of our programming throughout the year, and this was the one discrete project, and we got a declination, but no explanation. So I was wondering if you're receiving something so we know what we did wrong or what we need to do to apply successfully in the future.
I believe these were declined because we did not have the funds available, right?
Yeah, and we have the program sending out notices to the organizations.
And will the notices have some kind of more detailed explanations as opposed to? Yeah. Okay, good to know. Thank you.
John Brennan with the Jocelyn Center. I guess, again, going back to what the Mizell said too, I think there's some confusion as regards, because we have a lot of previous history of receiving this fund or the sponsorship for events during these exact same time periods that we've been running them. We've got numerous for the events we applied for, in the past number of years. So again, we went on to the same process and timing, thinking that we would be, hopefully receiving them within that same budget period. But again, some of the is the reasoning with linking up with the Health Nexus sort of alignment and how your submission aligned with that. I very much think our mission is very much aligned with the Health Nexus program, from our mental health, our nutrition, our Centris Wellness program, our activities for programming to prevent better balance, brain health, whatnot, all match what is said within your manifesto as such for the Health Nexus. So it's kind of disappointing and confusing to see then that they got declined based that they weren't matching up to that Health Nexus alignment. And I think everything we do at our center is very much aligned with those.
This is Greg Murphy again, only to find out that you have such little money to allocate to these 15 applicants, which is really the reason.
Well, we did our cutoff for the grants for the beginning of the year, right? In May? In March. So that was the original cutoff. That's what we were saying, that we don't know if we're gonna, maybe work with the rest of the board to change some of that, since these are a few months that are more busy, or what we're gonna do, but we need to.
I believe that there is a need for us to review the policy and how it aligns with our funding schedule. The other thing that I would also like to see moving forward is within these, I'm not sure how much we do it with the grantees, but then within sponsorships, I guess in there, similar to previous comments, is let's find a way in how we communicate with these applicants so that they know, right? And I'm not sure what communication does go out if we let them know like, hey, your item is gonna be reviewed within the program committee. I'm not sure if we believe that they already know that this is gonna happen, or there might be some newer applicants that don't know what the process looks like. So that once they submit their application and we know that they're gonna be on our agenda with their committee and a regular board meeting, let's see if we could be proactive in communicating that with them. And then also if there's gonna be a recommendation, if that recommendation is gonna be to decline or to approve. And so I'll leave it up to staff and how we can incorporate that within your communications with these applicants, because I think it'd be important, so that we don't have, organizations or representatives showing up to a meeting and not knowing, right? Or they didn't have the time to go and look at the agenda, and there's just a little in the air on what's gonna happen with their application. So those are some of my comments. I think that if we can, we'll continue having full conversation with the rest of the board. And if, there's been some, I'm not gonna call them issues, but I want to call them some areas that we need to work on. And many of you might know, we refine our sponsorship policy not too long ago. And so bear with us. We're building it as we go. It's a pretty good policy. And so I think with anything new, there's always, room for, or to give us that flexibility that we need to make some changes. And so we'll see. We have other public comment.
My name is Erica Becky. I'm with the Girlfriend Factor. We are new applicants. So I'm just here kind of learning the process and listening to how it works. However, our event is at the cutoff, so we wouldn't qualify for the next grant cycle, which would fall into your new budget. So this means that we're not able to apply, correct?
When is the event?
November.
November.
Yeah, that was within that cutoff was May 31st.
So, yeah. So these are some things that we still need to work on, right? Like you mentioned, we design something that would work for the district. And then as we move this along, we've identified some things that might not necessarily align or work, for both ends. But I think that that's just room for improvement, and hope that we'll be able to board have a full-on conversation. Board meeting is on the 24th, I believe.
Yeah.
And so 20, so in a couple of weeks, and we'll have a little bit more conversation with staff. Not that we're providing direction, but maybe if we can, I guess, provide a little bit more information, or how it actually, the funding and our, fiscal year aligns with the schedule of our sponsorship policy. And then I'm not sure if we would be in a position to actually modify that policy without it. It would have to go through our policies committee. And so there's still some time, but I think that it's a good conversation and it is due.
Yeah, if I could add on that, whenever we have the policies coming for revisions, one of the things we started not too long ago, that would end up coming back to this committee as well for review, as well as the policies committee. And on a side note, just as far as the sponsorships, so this is the second fiscal year we've done it a little differently. Prior to last year, we had minimal sponsorships that were given out under the CEO discretionary fund generally. Last year, we established the sponsorship GL and ended up giving out more than we had previously given. That was about 60,750. And then this current fiscal year budget was at 250,000, which is more sponsorships than we've given out before, and even bumped that up to 300 next year. So yeah, the sponsorships policy, if there's any feedback, we can include that on how to make those adjustments. Is just the current policy was trying to put some guidelines in place because we have had quite a surge of applications come in, and just trying to work through those. And
A bit more on that background. Thank you, Eric. It's because we just a little background, so Rick knows we would get sponsorship applications like a week before an event, right? Or like right before our board meeting. And so giving staff very limited time to actually process. And so that's why on our end, we're trying to provide or build that, I guess, frame on how, or I guess, procedure, because, and how to go about it. So thank you for that recap, Eric.
Excuse me, Chair Perezco, Miss Patricia Carrillo has had her hand raised. If you were still taking public comment,
That's fine.
go ahead, Miss Carrillo.
Hi, everyone. Patricia Carrillo with Alianza Coachella Valley. We also submitted a sponsorship request for our September fundraising event, Celebrando Nuestro Impacto. We're super thankful that Desert Healthcare District was one of our sponsors for last year's event, and we're very hopeful for this year's event. And one of the reasons why we were declined as well was the note there was a use of funds for the purpose of the use of the sponsorship funds, that it lacks sufficient details regarding how funds will support the event activities. And within the budget, we indicated some of the event expenses tied to the event and how the usage of the funds would be to support our organization as GOS dollars. So the fundraising events that we have, specifically this one every year, it's general operating support dollars that support the organization aside from the actual expenses for the event. And so definitely echoing some of the comments that were made from other fellow nonprofits and from the program committee, some of the information, such as knowing how much is left before submitting the application, would be greatly helpful as well. So we're able to kind of troubleshoot, should we request the amount that we were hoping, or should we request less, considering how much is left of the fund that you all have for sponsorships as we prepare our application. But yeah, all the comments and the questions made during the program committee meeting right now were super helpful as we hopefully submit for the next time around.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other public comment at this time?
I did just want to make a comment, Tally Fantini with the Regional Access Project Foundation. We were also declined our sponsorship for NPO Desert Fast Pitch, which is something that has been happening in the Coachella Valley to support local nonprofits and capacity building now for 12 years. And Desert Healthcare District has been a supporter and sponsor of the campaign and initiative in the past. Of course, we're disappointed. We understand that there are changes, but we wanted to make ourselves available if there were any questions from the program committee or staff while we're here as we move forward.
Well, overall, we explained what the situation was, right, and how it happened. It's not, I don't think it's nothing like against you specifically, it's just, this is how it happened. So we need to speak to the rest of the board to see if there's a different way that we can do, like if we can do something. But not until we have a meeting, we'll be able to figure that out.
We'll review the policy and we'll look over the see if maybe we'll have some kind of suggestions for revision.
That would be great. That would be good. Thank you.
And I would invite you all as well to participate in our regular board meeting as well, to provide input, right? Because I think for us, that's how we'll become stronger as a district, is listening from, the people that we work with and the programs and organizations that we support. And especially as we're transitioning into our new strategic plan, there's going to be changes. So please expect other changes as well, right? Just bear with us, be patient, and work with us. I think that's what I would ask from you. So thank you.
Thank you.
I have one more comment, if you don't mind. You've met us because we introduced ourselves, but I only know Donna, because I met her before, but who are the rest of you? What was that?
Name is Yvette Herrera,
You're on
I'm
the
a
list.
director.
I'm Kimberly Barraza. I'm the president of the board for the Desert Healthcare District.
My name is Lauren Mina, and I am the administrative and program assistant.
Erica Husky, and I'm the dance manager.
And I'm Alejandro Espinosa, and I'm the Chief of Community Engagement.
Gracie Montaño, Program Associate.
Eric Taylor, Chief Administration Officer.
Thank you.
And Andrea, Andrea.
Hi, Greg. I think we know each other. Hello. But for those that are there, I'm Andrea Hales. I'm the Special Assistant to the CEO and the Board Relations Officer. And while we're introducing ourselves, the gentleman in the middle, I don't think, next to Greg, I don't think got your name for the record.
My name is John Brennan. I'm the new executive director at the Jocelyn Center.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for having this in our backyard. It makes it easy.
Oh, there's. Okay, so I'm hearing everyone. Are there any committee member comments at this time? No. Okay, we'll adjourn the meeting at 4:29. Our next scheduled meeting will be on July 8th, 2026. And we'll go directly into the foundation.